Hey, how y'all doing today? Hey, this is your boy Gunther on another episode of Gunther Boy 500 podcast. Today I want to talk to you guys about why women don't have a man. I'm going to listen to this interview by this guy named Kevin Samuels and listen as he talks to this young lady on things that a man should do or that a woman should do in a relationship, but primarily on why women don't have a man. Let's listen to this interview real quick while I smoke on some Gunther. As you can see, subscribe to the channel, hit like, share, do all those type of things. You know, it's going to help the channel grow. Thanks.
Remind me that the people who are really willing to sit down and have a conversation say,
Good evening, Mr. Samuels. How are you?
I am well. Let me turn these comments off so they won't be scrolling on your face. How are you?
I'm doing amazingly well. Thanks so much for asking.
Good. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 38.
All right. So we're talking about getting versus keeping. What do you got?
So, I feel that it's a level of maturity when you get that mental, it's having substance. It's like, I feel like this generation, if I can be completely honest, we're getting worse. It's getting worse.
Okay.
When you finally get to a level of no longer wanting to be seen and being strategic behind that to understand how important your arrival is. I'm Spanish, Portuguese, and Black. So I went through that stage of my life of being in my teens, thinking I knew it all, using my body, using my entitlement, and to be where I am now, I'm glad that I took that time of that stop.
Now, let me stop that. Now, right there, she said her entitlement, her body. I mean, where does the body fit in as any type of structural thing that a man really wants? Because at the end of the day, a man that got some problems and going through some things, he can't eat no fat ass, no coochie, nothing like that. He gonna need somebody to tell him, hey, baby, hey, everything's all right. Hey, you can cope with this, stuff like that. Sometimes, man, these women just think that men, they don't have no type of heart, that they don't have no type of shit downtime, you know, that we can't be messed up neither. Sometimes we can be in the same type of predicaments, but who gives us a hug? Who gives us some flowers? Who gives us a car? Who tells us, hey, baby, keep going, you know? And then, sure, you know, you're going to have all the women that's going to say, oh, I do that, I do this, but I'm saying, man, it's 7 days in a week, 365 days a year. Now, count how many times you really do that. How many times do you be straightforward with the things that you need to do to have your man doing what he need to do? But let's keep continuing with this interview.
Solitude. I think that young ladies are not understanding how important solitude and isolation is to be able to.
I want to ask you something about something you said. And I've been thinking about it while you were talking. Getting to the point.
One more thing. It's already going bad, obviously, because isolation. You can't do anything isolated, man or female. So how could you be in a real relationship if you're isolated? You know, so who knows you're together, just you in the world. You know, you got to go out. You got to do things. You got to, you know what I'm saying, make it known. You got to have that type of camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that type of companionship also. But let's keep going with this.
Point to where you don't need to be seen. What do you mean when you say that? Because I know what I think. What do you mean?
When I'm being seen, I think that for myself, that's when you're a product of your environment for so long, where you just feel that you're going to remain that until you actually take the time to get around individuals. It's kind of like going the extra mile because it's never crowded. Getting up earlier in the morning to be less frustrated with your maneuver throughout the day. Like, there's ways that you can go about that. So as far as being seen.
Now, what do you think if you had a man or you had a husband, you know, things would be a little bit different. I mean, don't you think your man is there to help take some of the stress, some of the load off of you? See, that's what's wrong with women today. They think they can do everything by themselves. Matter of fact, they just think they are the man. How do you think you're a man in a relationship? What is a man's role in a relationship?
For myself, being raised, in LA, Inglewood, California, it was more so like I was a product of my environment until I chose that I didn't want that anymore. abuse myself. But to everybody else, I finessed my way and, had it all together.
I think what I was thinking is not wanting to be seen is go all. You're 30, how old? 38.
38.
Okay, so this world existed before you did. A world before social media, where women had to live for their neighborhood or their community. Women they cared more about their appearance to men and women around them. And today it seems like women are doing a lot of stuff for the gram.
I have to say that I totally agree.
So,
I totally agree.
So
but I've also been.
I mean, because what was life like before cell phones and social media? You had to literally go to a female's house, had to get through her brother, cousin, auntie, daddy, mama, whoever, to get to her. You know what I'm saying? Everything was more physical. It wasn't just no build a woman, dial it up, hotline, I meet you up, call you up, meet here, what's your number, what's your address. It wasn't none of that boy type of stuff. It was, hey, you have to be more one-on-one. Where you at? What you doing? This, that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all this quick, fast, this, that, because what does the text indicate? All it indicates is what you saying. It's not indicate what you doing. Yeah, you might be doing that, but you cannot physically write a text as soon as I say, well, I'm doing this podcast. And then all of a sudden, boy, when I'm not doing this podcast, what else you doing? Can't physically say, well, I'm smoking a blunt, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm sitting back. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I got these headphones on my head listening to this stuff. I'm not saying all that. I'm just basically just saying shit, I'm just doing this. So like I said, man, before all this social media stuff and all that, man, you have to be more intimate. You have to be more up close and personal, which everybody is trying to throw out the window. But that's what built a relationship. That's what made people bond more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what this new culture and this new I can do it by myself, independent woman stuff is coming from, because there's no structure or no foundation in the home. Never.
Been that lady that I've also been that woman that has did it for the gram, because you get.
Is that your career though?
I'm a trainer. I'm a personal trainer. So, but it was personal trainer coming from being broken, taking time to finally heal that brokenness. So I feel like I've always been that person too, to feel like, well, why I can't keep a man? Why am I'm praying for a good man, but am I a good woman? That's me now going into.
Now, as I'm doing this podcast, and as we going along, and as you hear Mr. Samuels and his woman going with this conversation, ask yourself for that. Are you doing everything that you need to be the woman that you should be? It's like a essay. Y'all slacking. You know what I'm saying? You missing commas, boy. Y'all putting words together. Boy, that don't even go right there, boy. That ain't even how you start off your thesis, boy. What is this, boy? Conclusion. I don't know what y'all got going on here. It's just a mess. But then at the same time, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. How, when you don't even love yourself? So how could you possibly say you love somebody else and therefore have the energy to even be in a relationship, to even conduct it the right way where it's supposed to be going? It's Gunther talking to you, baby.
Getting older.
I think a big
because I chose that mentally.
I think a big portion would be if women really would. I don't deal with women who have active social media, and if you're a personal trainer, I can see why social media would be a part of your life, because people want to see the product. But personal trainers existed before social media. Do you have any children?
Yes, I do. 20 and 14.
You got started young.
Yes.
Are you seeing anyone seriously right now?
Absolutely not. Not at this current time in my life. I think I needed that time to heal first.
Do you have daughters or sons?
My daughter is 20 and my son is 14, who is also autistic. So my level of thinking is completely different now.
So you see this young lady. She has an older daughter and she has an autistic son. She's doing everything basically she needs to do. But being in the type of situation that she's in, how could she fit a man in a relationship? Some of you women got to open up. It's pitiful, some of this stuff that you guys be out here trying to pull, and some of the stuff that you guys be out here trying to do, shucking and jiving out here. It's pitiful. but you can put on these scantily clothes. You can do this. You can pop your thing. You can talk about this. You can twerk that. You can do this. You can talk about this and that and this and this and that. How do you have all the answers but really don't have any answers? But then talk about men and what men need to do. When does it ever come together? When is it ever bonding? When is every... See, that's what's wrong with women. They always want you to confide in them about some stuff that they would never confide in you. And they want you to listen to some stuff that you would never listen to what they had to say. Because why? Everybody always defers the conversation off somewhere else, because it takes time and it takes a lot of stuff to actually bond with a person. You know what I'm saying? Not alone bond with the children or bond with other people, but bond in the relationships. It takes a lot from that. And sometimes women is not willing to give up their space and their time for that. And that's why some of these situations and circumstances are the way that they are now. But let's finish this.
Did you raise your daughter? What do you say to your daughter about dating?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Mr. Samuel.
How are you discussing dating and relationships with your daughter at 20 years old?
I think that it's more being realistic and knowing that I can't watch
She's
her
stuttering like a
24/7.
mug.
So giving her the harsh reality of life. If you want to enjoy your life, you're going to need to grasp everything that you can as of this moment, like now.
Are you coaching your daughter to be single or a wife?
Now, man, we just, we're gonna just...
I let that woman talk, blah, 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 and what do you get? When I try to interject, no, we gotta keep it real. We ain't gotta keep shit. You keep that on your platform. That is why so many women today are by themselves. She talked about multiple streams of income, as if modern women are going to have... It is hard enough to have one stream of income. This is what's wrong with our community. They are telling women to get out here and be fucking men. Young lady, I hope you realize that unless you're going into science, engineering, technology, and math, to some sort of profession, unless you're going to be some sort of high five-figure, low six-figure earner where you can replace two incomes, you will need a man to get from one point of life to another, because you cannot get to the end of life on one income. And to try to do it by yourself is an overloading of a woman. That is why so many of our women today
Stressed out.
so many of our women are hearted. So many of our women cannot even cooperate in a fucking conversation.
Preach.
Because they got their dick out all the time trying to act like a man. You're not a man.
Damn. In a nutshell, you're not. Off the top. I mean, he just basically summed it up in a nutshell. All this stuff where people just coming with this shit, you ain't a man. I mean, when you really think about it, and this, that, man, it takes a lot for somebody to be submissive. And these women today are not submissive. And like you said, two incomes. It don't take a mathematician to understand that. 40 plus 40 is 80. You know, you want to do it with 40, but live like you got 80 and wonder why you in deficit. You know, that's what women do. But I'm going to let this brother finalize out, and I'm going to finish this episode, and let you people think about some of the things that I talked about today about this.
The content, because they're getting confusing, gobbledygook messages from these women. Blah, 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 blah. What's the answer? What's this? So do I need to have a husband or not? Well, you need to know your mind and love yourself first. Do I need a husband or not? Well, you need to understand your chakra and heal your brokenness. Do I need a husband or not? Well, you need to understand that you need to have multiple streams of income. Fuck out of here.
Man, like you said, get the fuck out of here. You got to get with the program, man. This is not TV. But shit, obviously it is on the Gunther Boy podcast, So like I said, man, this will give some of y'all people something to think about, and think about a man and a woman's role in a relationship, and think about what you can do together to come together to have a decent relationship. Hey, this is your boy Gunther, man. Like and subscribe, man, to this channel. Like I said, I'm going to keep it coming. And like I said, peace and love to everybody.